I don't often remember my dreams, at least not in great detail. However, there is one which I'm glad stuck in my memory because it presented me with a very interesting idea for a game. It was so intriguing that I wanted to share it in a video. I dreamed that I was playing a game that doesn't actually exist in real life. The protagonist of the game was someone who could see ghosts. There were certain ghosts who had forgotten who they were in life and thus couldn't move on. Those particular ghosts appeared as formless shadows with no features except white eyes. They were always in doorways, never moving from them, likely because doorways represent liminal spaces, those between one place and another. The ghosts stuck between this world and the next one. The protagonist's mission is to find the missing pieces of the ghost's lives, which are represented by individual letters of the alphabet that eventually spell the name they had when they were alive, and fragments of photographs that, when put together, show what the person looked like then. The game was 3D and had an urban setting with multiple buildings that the player could go inside of. The letters and photo fragments are metaphorical for parts of a person that they've left behind in places they often go. Put together, they create a profile of who the person was and what their life experience was like as a whole. What's strange to me is that this seems like the kind of thing that I could have come up with consciously, yet my subconscious dreaming brain did instead. Although the main premise of the game idea is there, some pieces were missing. The game didn't have a name, for example. Once I woke up and remembered the dream, I came up with a list of possible titles. One was Unforgotten, another was Unlost from the song By the Main. Other possible titles could include words like Phantom, Spirit, Spectral, Streets, City, Pieces, Fragments, and Forgotten. It also wasn't made clear why the player character could see ghosts, but none of the other living inhabitants of the game's world could. I came to wonder what influenced this dream, and I think it was a combination of two things from my real life. The first is the existing game Spiritfarer, which is about helping spirits fulfill their final requests so that they can move on. I'm pretty sure I was thinking about that game at least some before I fell asleep on the night I had the dream. The other thing is a bit more personal. At my day job, I'm a librarian and archivist. My work largely involves going through old records in order to make finding aids for them, and in doing so, I examine individual documents and other items to determine whether they are worth keeping based on the concept of enduring value. To me, it feels like more than just busy work. Even if it's just the minutes of a meeting from 40 years ago, that's still something that a real person put effort into for an event which multiple people attended in order to accomplish a specific goal. Their career was just one part of their life, but they inevitably put a lot of time and energy into it. I believe that kind of thing is worthy of being preserved and recorded, and being involved in that process feels like its own reward. For the record, though I value this game idea that came to me in a dream, I don't have any plans whatsoever to make it a reality. Game development is an extremely complicated process, and one that I don't wish to venture into, at least anytime soon. Maybe if there were a group of people dedicated to this idea enough to want to bring it to life, I would work with them as a creative director, but I doubt that will happen, even with this video. I still wanted to share it though, because I thought other people might find it interesting just like I did, and even though I didn't have the idea consciously, I'm still proud of it. What do you think of my game idea? What title would you give it? If it was a real existing game, would you play it? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. I've made videos on many games from real life, which you can check out if you like. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.